What's up, everybody? We are in the pre-show. Even though Carlito's not ready, it's okay because we're not waiting for you.
You're going
You can
live.
do whatever you want to. Put on your makeup still. The show didn't
Why are
start
you
till 8.
rushing to go live, man?
Yo, no respect, yo.
So
No
we're gonna go
calzone.
live at 8
respect.
p.m. is when it starts.
It's not 8 p.m.
I know it's not. This is the pre-show. We in the pre-show. Everybody who's watching, much love to y'all. We're about to get the show officially started at 8 p.m. But we got an unofficial no call zone that we're going to discuss before we start at 8 p.m. So
Where's
John,
Izzy?
take it away.
Is Izzy not coming today?
Nah, Izzy's not coming today.
Oh, I had an article too.
He would have been great for this discussion.
Go ahead, John.
What do you want me to say?
Well, introduce. Nobody heard your no call zone, your unofficial no call zone, because we didn't plan this. He just
I said when I run for office, I'm gonna run on my message is gonna be abolish the IRS.
So in the chat, let me see who's in the chat so far. Holly Horn, PJ Holly's in the building. PJ, what do you think? PJ Holly, what do you think about abolishing the IRS? So how many people are here for? And then we're gonna say who's against.
Wait,
so who's
wait,
for
no. Let's at least get to the point that Bendone asked you why you wouldn't want that, and can you please tell the people your response? Like, why would you want that?
We need the IRS to collect the taxes from the rich. What's funny?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh God.
Okay, so I understand, but we got to get better. They got to get better at doing it, obviously. But they don't have the team. They don't have the resources to do it now. But that doesn't mean I want to get rid of the IRS.
Listen,
go ahead, Big Pun.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Big Pun.
All right, here's my take on it. All right, I'm down with the IRS, but I'm only gonna be down on your platform under one condition, and that is that you have to publish, right, the percentage of people that actually pay tax and make that public, number one. And you have to make sure that everyone, all right, or as many people as possible that are eligible to pay tax.
Yeah.
Because the story with me is, and this is the thing, not everybody pays tax. Yes, and if it does, and if everyone doesn't pay, it doesn't work for me. So that's how
Wait, hold on. That's controversial. Did you say everybody? So are you saying poor people too?
Like, no. Everyone eligible. That was eligible. Everyone eligible to pay tax must pay tax.
Gotcha.
Including all these companies that don't pay taxes.
Correct.
Go ahead,
you take. This is why I'm telling you. You take a system. And here you put it right there. You don't come with the whole like, I'm going to buy the boat. I get to write it off. I'm going to buy it. You want to fly private? Great. That's on you. You want to buy a $500 million plane? That's on you. You get rid of all those loopholes and you get to a straightforward tax saying, and you don't go in and it's like, oh, if you run a $500 million corporation, you don't take a $80,000 salary. And then you get rid of all those loopholes. You can make it, you can still keep what you want the IRS to be, and it's a straightforward system, and it's no longer who has the best accountant, who has the best lawyers, and it's a straightforward system that you actually will collect money from everyone. Like you're sitting here and you're like, well, I'm doing my taxes, so I could write this off, that off, and you're still like, well, I owe this kind of money. And then all these people are paying nothing because they have you owe the IRS $10 million. You know what you do on December? You go in and you buy a $30 million plane and you take a $20 million loss and you're good to go. So abolish them.
So we don't disagree after all, because I agree with everything that you just said, but we still need the IRS though.
I don't say abolish them. I said make it work fairly.
But let me go back to John. So are you still for abolishing? Because we need some institution.
Well, you can abolish and create whatever institution and call it like, or fix it.
So you just want to rename this?
We could rename it. Whatever.
Defund the IRS.
There you go.
Not defund the IRS. It's,
right. It's more like fund the IRS.
Fund the IRS. That's what we need to do, because basically when Republicans get in there, they take away money and resources from the IRS. And with the IRS, they have their lawyers, right? But they found that it's easier to go after the the middle class because we don't have all the lawyers to fight back against an audit, while the rich have all the money in the world to fight back against an audit or delay an audit and to keep prolonging it along, where it doesn't become worth it to audit the rich, and that's when they deter their attention from the rich to the middle class, and that's what's going on right now. So I agree that we need IRS reform and we need to focus on the rich, but getting rid of the IRS, yeah.
Well, you said you needed them to charge the rich taxes, and we know that.
Yeah.
They don't. I think I shared an article. They didn't share an article where it talked about that Republican in Ohio was talking about the middle class not paying enough, like doesn't pay enough taxes or stuff that they need to pay their fair share or whatever. Which like America's run on the on the middle class. I see it.
Mike Gibbons, he's talking about that. Yep. What time we got? 7:53. Yeah. So. What's going on, fellas? That was the easy no cow zone.
Why don't we start off with something local? How about that?
Okay, what you want to talk about?
It seems to me that so I read that Philadelphia has reinstituted the mask mandate for children in schools.
Really?
Maybe so, but I thought it was kids in school, but. Nonetheless, our mayor just tested positive for COVID, so I don't know how that's going to change things here.
Actually, I have a video that I could play on that. So let me do that real quick. Give me one moment. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, our guy, not our guy. I won't claim him.
Our guy. Wait a minute. That's a lot of people.
Here we go. We started over.
Damper on the big day. Looking back at the last 3 months, you could say that the mayor has set out to deliver on many of his early priorities. The first few weeks of his administration were clouded with shooting incidents, but Adams showed his commitment to fighting crime by sending out more officers to patrol subways, creating a new anti-gun unit, and expanding summer youth job programs.
What remains to be seen, however, is will he actually be able to bring crime down? And so I think New Yorkers are anxiously awaiting for those results.
The mayor has also faced criticism, though, when it comes to his policies, such as clearing homeless individuals off the subways and their encampments off the streets.
The removal of the encampments is very difficult to watch, and there are a lot of New Yorkers, progressives, moderates alike, that are concerned that, yes, we want to bring crime down. Yes, we want to make sure our quality of life stays high.
Damper.
Yeah. So this guy, he went in office, and I don't expect crime to go down right away, but it's still going on. So that shows that, just because you have a conservative versus a progressive doesn't mean that they're doing anything special to get crime low, except for the fact that I think he's doing an overreach because he, as we've talked about already, he's reinstated the what's it called, the no uniform,
the street crime,
that they don't wear uniform, the plain clothes,
street crime,
plain clothes, street crime, and we've seen that they are one of the most problematic police units because they don't say they're the police and they just go around.
Well, not now because they have uniforms that identify them as police.
Now they do.
Well, that's part of the reform of that particular group. It's going to be a uniform that is plain clothes yet still identifies them as police, from what I understand.
Okay.
So I don't know what that
means. A badge on top of a t-shirt?
No, you could wear a polo shirt and cargo pants, and as long as it says NYPD on it,
exactly,
we knew who it was. So that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. At the end of the day, this man, like I said, this man is a police officer, and he's facing a lot of challenges, and we'll see what's up. So far, he brought back street crimes and whatever. We'll see what happens. Like I said, it's a wait and see. But let's see. Let's go on. Let's see what goes on.
Is he still getting paid in Bitcoin?
From what I understand. That was a suggestion. The partial salary in Bitcoin. That's what
something that we're going to talk about is the first Latin millennial dictator. And I was looking up that guy, and I just saw that El Salvador was a place that they wanted to tie their currency to Bitcoin.
They have accepted it as currency.
That's what it is.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay, I thank you for the correction. And I don't know. I saw a headline that is not working out for them, but I didn't get a chance to read the article.
I think it's mixed.
It's a mixed thing. I know folks from that part of the world, and I was in the conversation, and I didn't know much about it, but it's a mix. But Bidon's right. It's a mix as to what's going on, because I think that he's done a lot of things in the country that are controversial in order to go ahead and bring forward some kind of safety to the public. Yeah. But he's actually had to deal with the people that are the criminals. So, it's like a negotiation on that part. He's got the Bitcoin thing going on. So people are kind of like, oh, we're finally seeing some things happen, but they're not really sure how it's going to go play out. So that's basically it. That's how they're going to see it.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. They got Bitcoin ATMs for the tourists and stuff like that. And then some of the I saw like an interview with some of the vendors. They're like, we like it because it's digital. We're able to get the currency. But the hard part is that there's only certain places that they could go to cash out. So it's depending on where you are as a tourist vendor, it becomes more of a hassle. And then when there's a dip, you lose money, right? So the volatility of it is also a little concerning.
All right, I'm gonna change up the flow a little bit. We got 2 minutes, so I'll play this video, and then maybe we'll cover it once we start the show. And then Amani Oakley, PJ Amani is going to be joining the show and give us a campaign update. So that's going to be fun to hear what's the latest on her campaign. All right, so I'm going to share my screen so I can play this video right now. Bam.
People up and wiping cities out in the process. Thing makes no sense to me. Biden, for day one, shut down the Keystone Pipeline, but now he says, well, we want more Canadian oil, but let's bring it in by truck or by rail. What could go wrong? Well, lots can go wrong. Back in 2013, there was an incident in a place called Lac Megantic in Quebec, where a truck full of Bakken crude, not a truck, I should say, a train full of Bakken crude, the emergency brake was not sufficiently engaged. The train rolled backwards into a town and killed 47 people, had a half a mile wide blast zone, and destroyed half a downtown. So this is a very dangerous thing to do. Pipelines are much safer, much cleaner, and they also don't pollute. The oil comes right in, goes to the refinery, gets into our gas tanks without blowing people up and wiping cities out in the process. Thing makes no sense to me.
So you guys caught that? He actually said pipelines are safe. Let me stop sharing right here, and then bring in our buddy PJ Amani is in the building. Let me see, Bendo, you can bring her up. I don't see. I clicked her in here. Let me see. Here we go. Ooh, I can't hear you though, Amani. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, they said the pipelines are safe.
Those pipelines don't leak.
and he said Quebec, right? Not America.
Yeah, Quebec is where it starts from. The tar sands.
That's where they bring in the dirty tar sands oil.
Yeah. Test your mic, Amani.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there she is. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the
how's it
show.
going?
Yo, might as well, Bendo, let's get the show started. It's 8 p.m. All right. Even though we don't have no music, but it's so there we go.
They want to be rude.
What's up, everybody? This is Case Study QB. We're going to go right into it because we got our buddy, our PJ Amani Oakley is in the building. She's going to give us her latest campaign update, and then we're going to talk about that video, or basically that. I just wanted to show that clip to show the propaganda on Fox Business and talking about pipelines. So, they're clean and they don't leak. We see that all the time. So, but anyway, let's get back to Amani. What's going on, buddy? How's the campaign coming along?
Oh, less than 2 months left. Yeah. We did well last quarter. Got a bunch of endorsements. We are now at 17 organizational endorsements and 5 individual endorsements. So looking good. We're out there in the field. I just feel good. I feel good about what I'm hearing. The papers have finally started saying that, in NewJersey.com the other day, they mentioned that Payne is running scared this time. So they finally started to admit that I'm doing a good job. So slowly but surely, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So far, so good.
Also, I know we played the video of your promo of you getting your office, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. You just open up your, how does it feel to get your campaign office open?
It feels good. It feels good. I mean, it's a pretty nice place. It's actually owned by a volunteer of ours. And so he was just like, yeah, I mean, like, it was like really random. Like, hey, y'all need some office space? We were like, yeah. And then he was, we set up everything so that we could use that space that he owned. So I really, really appreciate that, which is why volunteers are good. This is why volunteers are good. So, he helped us out with that. That feels great. Like, I just feel great about everything we've been able to build because we've done it without corporate PAC money and we've done it without kissing anybody in the New Jersey Machine's ring. Like, we did it 100% on the strength of our message, 100% on the strength of our policies, on the strength of our hard work. No kissing anybody's ring around here taking corporate PAC money. And we've gotten this far and we're doing excellent. So I feel good.
Nice. And my other PJs, let me know if you have any questions for Armani. Just like put a hand up real quick. But I want to ask you, for my purpose of, I love strategy, campaign strategy. I got the Progressive War Room that I do as a separate show. So I'm thinking like, okay, what was the difference that you of your campaign when you had before you had the campaign office and after? Like, what were some of the struggles that you have that now you have your campaign? Maybe you can store a lot of your paraphernalia in a storage place now than you didn't have it before. Maybe it was disorganized. Like, what are some of the advantages of having that office?
Yeah, so mostly it gives folks a place to like meet at before they go and canvass, or people can come and phone bank with each other as opposed to kind of being alone in their house, because we do virtual phone banking as well. But it's kind of like a different feel when you're able to be in like a group of people and everybody's in the room, working for the same stuff, making the calls. It's kind of like an energy boost. So that's the biggest difference. It's just being able to like have a spot where people can come all together as opposed to being really siloed out to wherever we are.
Oh, awesome, 100%. Anybody have any questions?
Has any public poll been out there yet? I know.
Not yet. So we'll see where we are. But I mean, we have contacted over 70K voters so far. We've knocked thousands of doors, made thousands of phone calls, thousands of text messages. So, so far so good. We're making our touches. And it's really going to just come down to making sure we can hit everybody we need to hit between now and election day. And then one thing that I think it's going to come down to is in New Jersey is whether people believe that we can win or not. One of the things that I find interesting about running in New Jersey that's a little bit different than other places is people are so bogged down and so pessimistic because of the way the machine has done stuff. Like, there are really people who believe that you cannot beat the machine in New Jersey. Like, there are people who actually feel that way. I think our campaign is starting to shake that up a lot because, they've never seen Donald Payne ever work before. Like, I'm constantly talking to people who are like, yeah, man, you're really making your opponent work. I've never seen him do this much work before. So I think people are starting to like really believe like, hey, this is probably possible. But we got to make sure, that belief translates into showing up to the polls on June 7th.
Yeah, awesome. So do you have the spot the day of the campaign or the election? I mean, that how you end off almost like that. I'm thinking of when AOC won, in the bar and all that stuff. You have that planned out yet?
No, we haven't planned that out yet, but we're definitely going to be doing it. It's probably going to be somewhere near the office, which is in Newark, because there are like a lot of like good spots for that in the area where the office is. So probably like walking distance from the office. But we haven't ironed that out yet, because that's
no worries. Keep us posted. Matter of fact, let's do this again. Come back on next month, early around this time, and you give us another update and give us that location.
Quick question, real quick.
Go ahead, John.
I wanted to see. I noticed you had. I was trying to attend your event on March 28th, but I couldn't. Something came up. How was that event? Like, can you talk a little bit about it? I know you were there with Nina Turner and Christine and some other candidates. So I watched some of it. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that was great. That was a great event. It was all Black women candidates, and then Congresswoman Cori Bush showed up as well to try and help us raise some money, which was great. We did actually end up raising like a good amount of money at that event, so that was amazing. And it's interesting to hear how much of like how many similarities there are between Black women running for office, especially in the ways that like we're attacked or, you know, looked down upon, et cetera, et cetera. Like all the problems that I have gone through with my opponent being nasty, calling me, you know, too ambitious, which is wild because he doesn't go to work at all. So it's like a weird, it's like a very weird insult. Calling me, you know, like a vagabond and all that, those nasty names, and having other Black women on the panel say like, yeah, you know, they talk the same to me. It's very unique to progressive Black women running for office. So, you know, that was very interesting to hear. And then the camaraderie was great. The sisterhood was great. Like, I really had a great time. I enjoyed myself. So I thought it was worth it. That drive down to DC was worth it.
So hold on, he called you too ambitious because you bothered to like put on pants and go to work?
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. And just for those people who don't know, recognize that what Carlito's talking about, we actually played the last time Amani was here, how her opponent, Payne, actually attended. He attended like a meeting. I forgot exactly what security meeting it was.
Homeland Security.
In just his shorts. Like he had a shirt on and like he had his boxes on or something. And he showed it in the video. Yeah, Big Pun. He showed it in the video.
Wow.
And this is an official Zoom meeting.
Like a meeting. And
yeah, he was at home. He was comfortable.
Yeah. So it was like a very weird attack because it's like, yeah, I don't work at all, but you want to work too much. And it's like, man, you got too much corporate money to come up with bad messaging like that. Come on, brother.
It's a bad look.
Yeah.
It's a bad look. You want to do too much.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. The job.
How's the local support coming along, Amani? I know I met you way back when before you even ran with the New Jersey Progressive Democrats. No, wait, the Progressive Democrats of New Jersey. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. So of course they're helping you out. Is there any other people, like, let's say for the next cycle I wanted to run? Do you have any advice with a kind of lane? What should I do as somebody running in New Jersey as a progressive?
Yeah, I would say, you know, make sure that you build a team of people who aren't entrenched in the political sphere in New Jersey. I think that's one of the things that's a saving grace for my campaign. Like, there are some people who are on my campaign, who are working on my campaign, who have worked in Jersey, but they're just kind of like, we can beat the machine, and this is how we do it. And then there are other people who have never worked in Jersey, but are just like, there's nothing super scary or really different about Jersey. We can run the same campaign. And you need people with that mindset because really the landscape in New Jersey, like I said earlier, it's pretty bogged down. People have been being told, you can't do this, you won't do this, it's impossible for so long. And you know, that kind of gets the folks if they're not seeing, you know, wins despite those words. And so, you know, you got to find a team of people that's willing to be like, nah, forget that, you know, traditional wisdom of you got to kiss a ring, forget that traditional wisdom of, you know, you got to talk to these same party bosses if you even want a chance. Forget that. We're going to run a good campaign and we're going to win. Like, that's the biggest advice I can give, is find people who are good at what they do, know what they're doing, and also are not afraid of a fight. That's really how you win here.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember when I first met you at the March for Medicare for All meetup, and at that event, and I saw you had somebody with you that was helping you out. I was like, man, our body is official out here. You gave me one of your pamphlets. So proud of you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in office and seeing what you can bring. Before I let you go, anybody else have any other questions? Is any other questions in the chat? Anyone in the chat have a question for Amani? Before we go, let me just give a couple quick shout outs. We got PJ Chris in the building. Pokey Wood is in the building. Of course, PJ Holly, I shouted you out. All for Nothing is in the building. And then let's read this. Does Amani see her competitor hitting the streets? That's a good question.
I was gonna say something like that.
Do I see him personally hitting the streets? Absolutely not. I knock doors.
That's work.
He's not going to be hitting on the street. What he's going to do, so what machine folks do is they do what they call paid canvas. So they pay folks like $15 an hour to knock doors for them, which, like, you know, paying people is good, but the fact that you're paying people to support you isn't so great. Like, they should actually really support you. So, you know, that's likely what he's going to be doing, but him knocking doors himself, I highly doubt it. But I definitely have been knocking doors myself, as well as my team and volunteers. So that's what I expect to happen. He'll do a paid canvas because he has that corporate money to blow.
Do you think it's important for you to have TV ads? And do you think he'll have TV ads? I haven't been watching like local TV to see any super amount of ads like that. But what do you think about that?
I think the most important thing is to go door to door and making sure that you are hitting the doors because people remember that. Like I've been knocking doors and people say like, I'm voting for you because you're literally the first person to knock on my door and I've lived here for 5, 7, 10, 20 years, right? Like, so, that I think it's people remember that when they have a conversation with you at the door. So I think that's the most important thing that we can be doing between now and election day is really hitting those doors and talking to folks.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah,
as we always talk about this, has the ballot been released yet? Because I know that's for sure always going to be one of the things that we talked about New Jersey. Yeah. And when it comes to people, right, they're just going to look for that D and they may just be like, oh, Democrats, here it is, right? And then Payne is here. Right. And then you have been here. Has the ballot been released yet where you can actually start educating people as you are knocking those doors to make sure to look for your names? I think that's a big disadvantage. In all the videos that I've seen about you, it's probably the first talking points that you always hit. And I think, it would be great if they already release. Oh, do they release it early so you could teach the people how it's going to look?
Great question.
Yes. So they are going to release it. They haven't released it yet, but it will be released probably over the next couple of weeks because vote by mail starts end of April. So that's going to be released soon. Of course, I'm not going to be on the ballot line. They're going to put Donald Payne on their corrupt ballot line the way they do every single year. For those just tuning in, the ballot line in New Jersey, we have the most corrupt ballot design in the entire nation where political party bosses pick their favorites, not their favorite because they did the most for the community, not their favorites because they know policy the best, but their favorites because they've either increased the party boss's wallets or done some political favors for them. And they put them in this long column of names that serves as a form of voter deception because voters they're just trying to be good Democrats. They look for that long column of names and they just automatically vote right down it when really the better person and, probably the more progressive person is placed somewhere random on the ballot in some random spot. And so, with that being said, I'm not going to be in that long line. I don't do financial or political favors for the party machine. I only work for the community. So I'm going to be in a random place on the ballot. So you just got to look for my name and then press it. And Congress is going to be at the top this time. So it's just me and Payne. Payne can't hide under Cory Booker. He can't hide under Governor Murphy. He can't hide under a presidential candidate. It's just me and him at the top. So if you want to find an easy way to do it, look at his name and then go over or up. It depends on, or down. Like depends on where they put me out, but I have to be in the same row as him. It's going to be some space out. So just look for that. Make sure you look for my name, and that's how you'll be able to vote for me.
All right. Amani Oakley, New Jersey 10. Awesome. Shout out your website and wherever we can find you. Let us know.
Yeah, definitely. So website is Oakley4 FOR Congress.com. So Oakleyforcongress.com. You can catch us on all social media with my first name, IMANI. My last name, Oakley, OAKLEY, NJ10 on all social media. And please, 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 if you can, sign up to Phone Bank, sign up to Knock Doors. If you can drop us a couple of dollars, that would be really, really helpful, especially in this final stretch. Every single thing counts. Every phone call, every door knock, every dollar. It all counts. So if you can, please, please help us out. And I'll see you guys June 7th.
Cool. Awesome. I just want to show Amani's People's Gauntlet page as well. It's peoplesgauntlet.com/Amani Oakley. And here you'll find all of the topics of the candidate herself answering. This is not black and white text. You don't have to read it. You just got to go to the topic that you like, out of all the different gauntlets: voting rights, digital, democracy, ranked choice voting, all the various things that you can find that the candidate herself is going to talk about how she feels about these different topics. All right. Thank you so much, Amani, for coming on the show.
Thanks for coming on.
Month,
good luck.
We get the latest.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Absolutely.
Have a great
See
one.
ya.
Yo, Big Pun, you may not know, but she was an original PJ. She was here.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, she did
That's
a couple
awesome.
show with us, and we actually got the breaking news when she was announcing. We were the first she announced here. So
That's awesome.
That is
That's
awesome. So hopefully, you know.
I wish you all the luck in the world, man. That's a tough climb because you know a guy like Payne is a family name. He's been entrenched in the area for the longest, and I think that it's so funny that she talks about the ballot, and that was interesting, right? Because people just see the name, and if it's a thing that's like especially that part of Jersey, like you remember, I don't know if you remember the mayor Sharp James, who was the mayor for the longest in Newark. It was like, and it's like a thing where like you see representation, but it's not. I don't know if it's beneficial to you, and then it's been that name has been there so long through him and his father, and it's tough. You know what I'm saying? But I wish her the best, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Much love to everybody. The new people jumping in. Destiny Cathedral. Sharif is in the building. Cheryl Patrick's in the building. All right. So let's get the party started. The rest of the show. Now that we got Armani gave a lot of love, and I'm looking forward to seeing where her race goes. Let me go around the horn. I didn't go around the horn just yet. Bendone, how you doing, buddy?
Thriving and surviving.
Surviving. Big pun.
What's going on, people? Thank you for having me back.
Nice. You back. You regular now. You're regular.
I'm regular now. Oh, snap.
Put this on your Monday nights.
What you what you sipping on?
This is a little seltzer and limes.
All right. That's what we'll keep it PG now. Just kidding. All right, Carlito, how you doing?
Just chilling, man. Waiting for the Hawks playing game on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm jealous. My guys are out. They ended nicely. But let's not talk about the Knicks. John.
I remember a couple months ago. Not too long ago, when someone was like, "The Knicks going to make the playoff. This is our year."
I don't know who said that, Miss.
Bing bong.
It's here.
They said it after week 1, after playing like 2 games.
Bing bong.
Yep.
We had high hopes, but let's not enough about the Knicks. What's up, John?
Hey, at least think about it like this.
Season started.
Hey. Think about it like this: you finish ahead of the Lakers.
Ooh.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take any light. But what was that? The Yankees played the Red Sox recently, right?
Lord.
Yes, they did. What happened?
What happened?
Same thing that happens to the Mets.
We're 3-1. We're 3-1.
Next conversation, please.
Next.
All right. So I want to bring up a no-call zone for later. I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna discuss it right now or say what it is, so you guys can marinate on it. And I would love to know the chat's feedback on what they think about the no-call zone. And the question is, I think it was too spicy to ask Armani, and I wanted to let Armani. We only had limited time with Armani, but the question is, how much do you think Congresswoman or congressman should make? What should their salary be? So write down what you think their salary should be.
I think I know what it is now. So.
We know what it is. What it is. I know what it is. And I'm not going to say it right now.
What is it?
What
is it? What is it?
But what do you think? I'm just think about what you think it should be.
I'll put it like this: it's a 6-figure number, and they all still think they're broke.
Exactly. So everybody in the chat, put down, what do you think? What do they deserve to make? That's where I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? Like, for what they do, for people that get vacation, they get like 3 months vacation every year. They go on vacation so often, right?
They work 97 days of the year. That's how much they work.
It's ridiculous.
Allegedly.
And vote for their own raise.
Like this.
I mean, I'm not.
They vote for their own raise. I can't do that.
So before we go,
hold on.
I might get canceled.
Is it Senate or House of Representatives only?
Let's do House of Representatives because there's 2 different price ranges, I believe, for the Senate. Let's go with House of Representatives. Mario's in the building. Jordan Ryan is in the building. Much love to y'all people. Aaliyah's in the building, and I know Mia's out there. So what's up, Mia? All right, so I want to bring up the first topic before we go to Carlito's rundown. Let's hit some videos, and I'm curious what you all think, and maybe we can have a little bit more controversy discussion real quick. So I'm gonna play this video. Boom, boom. Right.
That's why I created the White House Task Force on Worker Organization Empowerment to make sure the choice to join a union belongs to workers alone. And by the way, By the way, Amazon, here we come.
All right, so we have Biden shouting out. I see that, Carlito, shouting out. The Amazon, and then I'm going to bring up some more. We've got a couple more Amazon stuff here. So look, Amazon Labor Union says workers at 100 more Amazon facilities want to unionize, that's a big deal. Here's an article from Yahoo, because initially Chris Small said 50. He got 50 from all around the world. He said from Africa, other places in America, other countries. But he's now, the latest is 100 facilities. So let me go back to Biden real quick, and I'll stop sharing. Do you guys give any credit at all to Biden or the Biden administration? So here's a little bit of wordplay, and also his union secretary or labor secretary is different from Trump, who would have been he would have been more passive towards unionization and made things more difficult for Chris Smalls. I would say that the current labor secretary and their structure is a lot better. So let me throw that to the panel. What you guys think?
Where was Crystal Smalls coming at Biden for not supporting them earlier?
Yeah, well, I think there's a critique. This is just wordplay. I see where you're going with that from last week's show. It's all right. But you can't expect much from Biden, so that's why he don't get the smoke.
No, but Small did went after the Democrats. He did say the Democrats were nowhere to be seen, and they didn't help him at all. So he did put that out there.
But Biden's the president, though. You're not going to expect Biden to be showing up. You're not going to expect Biden to show up to that. But with that said, I remember when Obama was saying that he was going to put on his walking shoes and walk with the unions and blah, 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 and march with them. And he didn't. So this is Mr. Obama wannabe over here. He's going to be the same thing. The first thing I said when I saw that was, I believe it when I see it.
But wasn't and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be completely off, so please don't take this. But wasn't when Bernie running for All About Union, didn't Biden attack him on that? Or I'm completely wrong on that.
Biden tries to run as a union candidate, or he's somebody that's super favorable to the union, even though he definitely ran. He didn't attack Bernie for that. And so far the administration is friendlier towards union. It's definitely better than Trump. Now, are they somebody that if Bernie Sanders was president, I think it would be a lot stronger. But at this point, you kind of take what you can get. The question would be, if Trump was still president, would Chris Smalls have the victory that he has? Right? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. Because even right now, Amazon is challenging that vote, or trying to say that they did some nefarious actions. So they're going to try to fight what Chris Smalls and his victory from the Amazon Labor Union, what they just had. So if it was a Trump labor administration, they might overturn it. So that's the reason why I brought this up. Is in the left atmosphere, or in the left ecosystem. That's what I like to call it. You have people that's really tough on Biden. Then you have people that are more liberals who are more Hillary Clinton fans and Biden fans, or stans. And we're definitely, I don't think anybody here is a stan of Biden. But with my nuanced view, I want to pose the question: should we give credit, a certain amount of credit to Joe Biden? You know what I'm saying? That's where we still got to push him. But should we give him a certain amount of credit? So Carlito,
he tweeted.
Credit. Well, he didn't do nothing yet. Really.
He didn't do anything. Exactly. The only thing I would say is he put in place the union secretary, and they have the union board that Amazon is trying to appeal right now. And if they're favorable towards unions, then they're going to slap down Amazon. Big pun.
Quick question for you, Case. Now, I did hear President Biden said, Amazon, we are coming for you. Now, what level of support would you go ahead and give that? Just going forward, so later on, we don't have this confused.
Yeah. My thing is, actions speak louder than words. I want to see action. You can say we all you want. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see action. So that's something that we don't have to belabor this topic. It's just something we're putting out in the atmosphere. I know there's a lot of people might put some hate saying, "Hey, we can't give Biden any credit."
Well, just check, just checking because I mean, per our last conversation, somebody said they were gonna support someone and they didn't show up to something, and all of a sudden, we had what we had. I just want to know what we're gonna get next.
100%.
I'm saying,
yeah. Well, you know what? Another person that said that they were going to put on some soft, some sneakers and go on the picket line. The first sign of a union strike or anything to any activism. You know who the last person who said that? A big name, Barack Obama.
Mama, we just said that.
And for 8 years, he sat down in the Oval Office and was like this.
No, let me ask you a question. What would you think would be the biggest boost or the biggest feather in his cap? Would it be getting Amazon to pay fair tax or supporting them in the workers in becoming unionized?
For Biden?
Mm-hmm.
If he supported them to get unionized, I think that would be more significant.
Interesting. Okay.
See what happens though. But so far, he didn't lift a finger. This is all Chris Small.
And believe me, he's not gonna. That's my prediction. I don't think he's gonna do anything. And it's a good talking point, and it makes people clap and look, oh, he's down with it. But I don't think he's gonna do a thing.
Let me give a shout out.
Earlier, he said he wanted to keep
John, sorry. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Nate C in the chat, Paul Patrick in the chat, and those are the latest new names I just want to shout out. Go ahead, John.
I just said that. It's funny that you said that because earlier you said you want to keep the IRS around to make the rich pay taxes.
We'll get to that in a minute.
All right, let's get away from the. I don't know if anybody else have anything to say about Amazon, but we're going to change the topics. Let's go to the no cow zone and let's talk about that topic. Let's go. Right. So for the new people, no cow zone stands for no cancel zone. This is where we have debates and we talk about different hard topics. And, we have tough fights, but at the end of the day, we don't cancel each other. We still love each other. We still have each other's back.
Yes.
Look at Bendone, what he put, allegedly. I lost last week, so I'll give y'all that. I got my L last week, so much love to y'all.
How do you recover from that?
Here's the new one. How much money should a congresswoman or a congressman make? All right. So, Bendone, are you ready to reveal your number?
Sharif DK. Nice.
Yes. 200K.
200K.
You know how much the president makes?
What? No, that's not how much a president makes.
No, president makes more, but I'm
so
saying
relative.
Yeah. They made like 450.
Yeah, he makes around that amount.
So what I learned from AOC, because she's very talkative in her social media to us common folks, is that there's a lot of expenses out there for them. Thus, if they're forced to have two different places of live and expense out their travels, 200K seems reasonable. Now you got to get rid of the insider trading and all that other stuff that they make money on the side.
Yeah.
But
do you think that's so? Let me ask this question: If we could say like, okay, the government's gonna pay for your lunch or where you live and food, I think they already pay for the food.
I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now? Maybe I went away from the mic too much.
Okay. About food, right?
Yeah, if we could get the government to pay for their, like, let's say there was some kind of dorm in DC, that they don't have to pay rent, and maybe there's some kind of place that they don't have to pay for food. Should they? Would you? How low should their salary be then?
120.
120? Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm on Bedon's side over here. I know a lot of people are gonna say like should be a lot less, half of that, but I am with Bedon simply because they have to have a place to live. They have to pay for themselves out of their money, where they live with their constituents. And then in DC, when they're working over there, if they have some amenities like a dorm that they, a lot of these people are millionaires. They're not going to live in a damn dorm to begin with. But that's, but what I'm saying is for people like, Cory Bush or whatever, they don't have that money like they do. And it makes it extra, especially them, saying you're a woman, you gotta, dress nice. You gotta if somebody is coming from the streets trying to get up there, you gotta play the part. You know what I'm saying? So that's expenses that they probably didn't have to spend before. I think unless they have some kind of allowances for clothing or food or lodging, then I think 200K is fine.
I'm pretty sure.
We got some questions in the chat that I'm going to come to. So, for example, Sharif asked, "Do they have security?" I don't think. Actually, matter of fact, the Capitol Police.
Yes,
right
in the building.
Since January 6th. First of all, that's in the building. That's the
right
DC Capitol security, right? Then after January 6th, they gave them more money that they even opened up, I believe, 2 Capitol offices outside of DC. I'm like, I don't even know why.
Because a lot of folks don't live in the
so then at that point, it's like you might as well put them in every state, right? But anyway, I think you're getting too big for me, for my purpose, because Capitol Police, I believe, they don't have the same. They don't have the same restrictions that traditional police have. Or so, for example, the fire request, freedom of information request, they don't have to adhere to freedom of information requests, which is not good. We should require them, especially since they're getting bigger and bigger. But anyway, as far as personal security, I don't think they have like a security guard, like if you're Cardi B and you're walking around.
If they do, they buy it themselves, and they probably will bake it into the price. But it all depends on who you are. I mean, if you're Josh Hawley, you probably have a bigger security, folks, than than a lot of other people. It depends. Unless you're carrying your own weapon into the building, which we all know that certain people already said they do. All right,
yeah, but that's illegal.
It is. I know, but the
Congress people probably need less because his people that support him are the ones that are a threat to Democrats. So he don't need security.
But I have an idea. This is my idea. It's 175 right now, something like that, right?
179.
Are you going to give your number? Are you going to give
my number?
Okay, go ahead.
I'll give my number. Ready? I'm a sports fan. So I'm going to do it like this. It has to be an incentive-laden contract.
Okay.
So in my opinion is that you'll get the minimum, and that's it. But if you go ahead and you show up to every vote that you're supposed to show up to, and you vote, you should get a little more. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Because then that shows me that you're actually doing something. You probably know you're not going to read every bill. You're not going to read it. But if you show up, hey, vote, I got to show up to this vote, bro. I won't get my extra $25K or whatever. But that at least gives something to somebody. Because these guys that don't show up to vote.
Yeah, that's a great point. If they don't show up, they should get deducted. But I got a question. Where does the staffers' money come from?
Yeah, it does come from, I think the Speaker of the House, like, assigns what each person can have, like a budget for each congressperson, and then it's up to the congressperson to decide how much they want to pay their staffers.
Because I hear they don't get paid. They get paid crap. I hear.
Yeah. So AOC revolutionized her office when she got in office. She gave at least a minimum of $15 an hour to her staff. Now, what happened was usually you would have a bigger staff because you pay less money. But she consolidated her staff so that
they got a bigger staff because they used to have free intern. So she's the only one that pays interns. Well, she's one of the few.
That too, yeah. So they would either pay very low or pay nothing. Go ahead, Carly.
A lot of them also have a bigger staff because they're able to get the rich kids that already have money to work for them and work for free for the experience because daddy pays for everything already. So that's another disadvantage from people that want to get into politics from different backgrounds.
Yeah, exactly. So I like what you said, Big Pun. John, did you give a number?
No, I haven't given a number, but I think it should be just like how they pay everyone. It should be locality based on what state they're coming from. So just Mitch McConnell, since he doesn't really care too much about Kentucky, he doesn't make a lot. He just and actually will force him to bring jobs, to bring education back to your state. So I would do it like that. So if you're in New York, the cost of living in New York is greater than the one in Kentucky. And when you affect those and you affect their pocket, I guarantee you they start making changes and each state probably will get better.
What if he says, but I live in this private country club in Kentucky that's more expensive. The cost of living over there.
That's you just do it based on you'll do it based on where the capital is or something, and then you
just do it on state level. Just do it the whole.
Sounds like an IRS loophole.
Yeah, just do a state level. That's a good idea. Do a state level.
Yeah, just do it state level, and then you just based on that, you'll see how things start changing, bills start passing, and.
So I'm sorry, John. Say that idea one more time for the people in the back.
So I would do it based on the state that they represent, like locality pay, just how they pay basically every federal government, right? You get paid, every federal government employee gets paid based on where you live. So they should get paid based on who they represent. So if New York cost of living is higher than the one in Kentucky, that congressperson gets paid more than the Congress representing Kentucky. And I guarantee you they will start changing and they will
so you're saying
they will start.
They'll try to like build up the state cost of living and like try to improve it so that their own salary could increase. That's what you're saying.
You know what, John?
Probably.
I like the idea, but on second thought, I don't think it's going to change anything, though.
I don't know if it will change that much.
But you know why? Because these people that are running, a lot of them don't even need that salary. They're millionaires already. Yeah. They're just there to make money off the insider trading, or from
people just power hungry, narcissistic.
Yeah, or just to make money from the insider trading, or just helping out a corporation to then when they leave the Congress, they have a cushy job after they leave.
Yeah, but we're talking about right now. We're talking about how much they should make, right? So we're not talking about everything else that comes with it that we should get rid of, the loopholes and all that crazy stuff.
I mean, but saying that it's going to change anything, I don't think it's going to change anything.
It's not.
But we should still have that. But it should still be. I still like the idea regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
as far as
it's
going to change now.
They put that each campaign promise that they complete, you tack on an extra $50K. That's a lot of money. I don't know,
man. I don't know. I don't want to pay more money to somebody that wants to, increase the military budget and stuff like that.
But exactly. It's like what direction do you give them that money? Because you can have a goal of raising taxes on the poor, and then what if it happens, you're gonna get $50K?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could go somebody PJ Chris. Bendo, but PJ Chris said about $75K a year. I think Destiny Cathedral. I don't know if that's $50 an hour. I don't know if that's that number.
It's $50. It's just $50. That's it.
And then somebody, let me see. Mario said 2,000K. Oh, 200. I think he was saying 2,000K. Damn.
200.
200. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the official number that they currently make, even though I heard that their salary increased though, but as of Google is 174,000.
Yep, 174.
So that's how much. And for the Senate,
they make 170. They make 179.
Okay, 179. So for the Senate and the House, they make the same thing, which I thought the Senate made more for some reason. I know, and like we said, the president makes around 400, 450 around there. Now, my opinion, I think of the minimum wage, and I'm like, I think of Swama Sawant, who is a socialist alternative at the state level. She's in Seattle, and she's a city councilwoman. What she does is she takes the minimum wage, which is $15 an hour, and then the rest she donates her salary to her organization, Socialist Alternative, to try to build progressive party progressive power. You need money to have an organization. Now that's tough. Like, man, talk about being somebody who's principled. That's tough to be making $15 an hour. I don't know if she has rich people money that she could, have in the back that she can lean on. But go ahead, Big Pun.
It's tough because a lot of these folks are either they own their own businesses or they're practicing attorneys that leave their practice, and then even though the practice is going with other people, they come and serve as Congress people. And then you got just basic people that are just like, oh, well, I just decided to run and I won and I'm here and this is what I'm going to do. It's like, so how do you go ahead and gauge that? Because there's people that are millionaires already, and this doesn't really mean much to them if you really think about it as far as salary. So the argument then becomes, how is it that you incentivize somebody that may already be a millionaire and is just doing this for the political position and the perks? You understand what I'm saying? Then what is it that's going to drive them? Giving them 120, giving them 175, probably peanuts to somebody, or not as much, and they're losing by coming to this. You know what I'm saying?
No,
financially,
they're not losing.
Well, hold on. I'm talking about as far as salary is concerned, not in the general sense. If you're a millionaire, whatever it is, calm down. But they're losing on let's say a salary by coming to take this job, where they would make more money. Let's just say wherever they are. So what incentivizes that person to show up and vote for whatever it is, or just to show up?
No, I like your idea. So let me finish my thought about what I think they should make. So the minimum wage, period, federally is $7.25 an hour. What do you guys think if they should make maybe 4 times the minimum wage? Meaning that if they increase the minimum wage, now they made themselves eligible for a raise. Instead of what they do right now is they just straight up vote themselves.
They vote. That's it.
Which is crazy. Imagine if you guys, Bendone, Big Pun, Carlito, John, people in the chat, if you could vote yourself a raise, how much money, everybody, we wouldn't have to worry about the minimum.
And then not show up. That's the best part of the
and then not
hustle.
show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking that maybe you have the minimum wage, $7.25, and say, okay, Congress people can only make up to 4 times the minimum wage. You know, whatever
of their state.
So there's a cap. Okay.
And they should
4 times the minimum wage of their state. 4 times the minimum wage of their state.
Of their state, but even like some states got $15 an hour.
Yeah,
exactly. But that's why I'm going federal, because the federal is $7.25. That's the lowest one.
But I mean, if you want to incentivize to make their states better.
By the way, I got news for you. I don't want to have anything tied into an hourly rate with these folks, because they'll start padding that thing like you wouldn't believe. Oh, well, I had to go back, so I charged that. Oh, I did this, so I had to do. And then it's an hourly rate, and then it becomes ridiculous regardless. You know what I'm saying? Then you're going to get close to what you used to make. Come on.
Yeah. So maybe you could just make the salary base, and then on top of that, you could do the incentives of voting and all the other stuff. All right.
It could be very interesting. You could go ahead and I could incentivize you with $25,000 that won't go to you. Yeah. It'll go to the education system in your state or your district.
Man, my fault, guys. Anybody in the chat, Bendo, if you see any good stuff, any questions that we want to address real quick. But Carlito, we gotta go.
We're gonna have to rush these. But let me real quick though, because that neighbor, when I was talking about military spending, being one of those incentives. Nate said that look at the big conflicts we got facing us down, Russia and China making moves. Hell, even India has a bigger military than us these days. That is like not even close. I looked it up real quick. I already knew that was way smaller, but U.S. military budget $738 billion, India $67 billion. Okay, it is. The United States is the same as China, India, Russia, UK, Saudi Arabia, Germany, France, Japan, South Korea, Italy, and Australia combined.
26. It's the 26, like
26. The next 26 guys combined, bro.
Combined.
The next
come close.
Yeah.
So when it comes to military budget, nobody's gonna beat us. Trust.
Ever.
And the thing is, it's not even that our military is more efficient. Like that could be the majority of that is wasteful spending. You know,
contractors, $500 toilet seats or whatever.
Matter of fact, there was an article that talked about how I forgot what year it was, like maybe let's say 2014 or something, that they try to audit the military budget and they found so much waste that they decided to just scrap the whole audit because it was so embarrassing. I think they found up to $350 billion and they didn't even finish the completed. So that's how much waste. In the budget.
I mean, one final comment I want to make based on what.
And then we're going to go to Carlito's rapid fire. It's got to be rapid fire because we got a little bit. Go ahead, Carlito.
As written from Department of Labor, according to a statement made, what is that? We got to feel for them because compared to private sector salaries, the salaries of members of Congress is lower than many mid-level executives and managers. And to me, this is important because we got to get money out of politics. Everything else falls from that. Then if we do that, I do think they should be getting paid more because these are the people that are supposed to be in charge of our country. They, just the same way as teachers, they need to be paid more. You want to incentivize people to go into public service to do the right thing, so they should be paid well. The problem is with the other things, you know, the kickbacks, the corruption, things like that. That's what makes it so, you know, regular people can't even get in there, and only the rich people already have money are able to just flood the airways with ads, outprice, the real candidate that will help us out of the races altogether. So, they should get paid more, but the people that we have are just so corrupt that we don't want to give it to them.
Yeah, I'd rather we give salaries to candidates who are running, because unfortunately, regular people try to run for office. That's why a lot of rich people run for office, because they could afford it.
Public funded elections for everybody.
That's what we need right there. All right, Carlito. Let's go to Carlito's rundown.
The rapid fire, for real.
Rapid fire. Yeah, this gotta be rapid fire.
For real. All right,
13 minutes.
First one. CIA black site detainees served as training prop to teach interrogators torture techniques. This is by Julianne Borger for The Guardian. Newly declassified documents reveal Ammar al-Baluchi was repeatedly slammed against a wall while naked until all trainees receive certification. So they have this guy that's been in pre-trial hearings for 10 years. So, you should be like, okay, if he's a terrorist, just charge him and get it over with. But no, they just kept him in limbo, and they use him as a training prop, like a crash test dummy.
Yep.
Slamming them against walls and all that, just to train other people on how to torture. What you think about this case?
Now, this is sick. This is absolutely sick. I'm disgusted that our government did this.
I started to laugh, but Sharif was like, "Damn, how to do that to my cousin?"
Oh, that's messed up. But it's just sad that our media, mainstream media, talks about so many different frivolous things. I mean, we had the Will Smith slap that went around the world twice, and we have the smack against the wall. This is right here is the smack against the wall. Plenty of times where this poor man got brain damage, and on top of that, they didn't even put him on trial to find out if he really was responsible for the terrorist attack that he was that they claimed he's responsible for. So it's absolutely disgusting. One part of the article that I just want to point out, it said they used two techniques without approval, and that's using a stick behind his knees in a stress position that involved leaning back while kneeling and dousing with ice cold water. Like this, it just talks to me. It's just like a perfect capitalization of capitalism and how corrupt it can get, how corrupt the system can get. And that's where it comes down to. We need to think about people first.
Used to get in DR, man. Crazy.
I thought torture didn't work. What happened?
Yeah, right. There's better ways. And the sad part is the FBI has officially, they've come up with techniques to truly be able to interrogate people. They befriend the people. They play ping pong. They play. They give them what they like. If they like cigarettes, they'll give it, and they kind of befriend the person, and that's how they kind of over time
they knew
gain
this
their trust.
The
oldest playbook.
They knew this before all this happened. They already knew. Because they had the use of techniques. It was to how to, teach was it Navy SEAL or whatever. There's the SEAL training to teach them how to be able to withstand torture if that got captured, and just tell them whatever they want, whatever BS, without revealing the truth. But they tell some people for money, switched it up, became contractors for the military and used it to teach people how to torture. But then including this guy right here, he just said whatever they wanted to hear just to make them stop. And that's so they got a lot of false information. So it was useless.
That's why they like to torture, unfortunately. So we got people in our government that needs to go to jail. That's the more of the story. All right, let's move on to the next one, Carlito.
The next one.
Sad.
Meet Latin America's first millennial dictator by Manuel Melendez Sanchez Slate. The self-described coolest president in the world is developing a new form of authoritarianism that may soon attract imitators. So now this is a little... I'm on two minds of this, because this is the newly 40-year-old president of El Salvador. But if we know anything about American history, is that they're going to talk trash about American people, South American presidents that they don't like, and they might lie. If they feel they're a little bit too far left, a little too business unfriendly, they're going to say whatever to try to take them out. So I don't know how much I want to believe this, but there is some truth to the fact that he is acting in authoritarian ways. So he is the secret to the secret sauce to him is that he's using his being young, young by dictator standards, 40
years old.
wearing leather jackets, live tweeting, when he's getting rid of the Supreme Court justices over there. But at the same time, he's using the military to get rid of some of the people in his cabinet, or not in his cabinet, but in the legislature. So I don't know what you think about that, John.
Bro, you have to sometimes we got to look at it, and a lot of the stuff that he's doing it for his people. He's actually benefiting the people. Like for me, like that guy, like when I follow that guy a lot, and he's probably one of my favorite presidents there been. Like I always talk about, like if I ever run for president in Dominican Republic, I probably imitate a lot of his stuff. Like when you do with COVID, he went into old company. He told them, like, if you raise the price of rice or the price of chicken, like anything on the people, like how much money do you need to make? And he told them, like, if you do that, I myself will put you in jail. So a lot of people, in El Salvador during that time, I don't know if what happened or not, but I know that for sure it was coming from him. There was no price gouging, like, a lot of the stuff. So to me, a lot of the things he's doing, like you said, he's using his social media platform. We know what Latin America politics is all about, and he's bringing the youth, and he's, and when you look at it, does it remind us some president that we had that we ran on social media, kind of bring the youth, but didn't deliver, right? This guy is actually going in using that platform, delivering for his people. Imagine if, that president we had, we actually took some of those. He had the Senate, had the House, and would have made some bold policies out there. We could have gotten Medicare for all. We could have gotten a lot of stuff, and we didn't. So,
a likable young dictator. How lovely! This is the new flavor in Latin America. You got to be young and cute and tweet to people. In the meantime, you also got to deal with the Mara Salvatrucha at the same time. Oh, this is the new joint, man. I'm gonna make sure that you guys don't price gouge, because I'm gonna go ahead and do something to you. Come on, bro. It's cool and everything. I get it, but this is the different spice of the same recipe. That's all it is, and it'll play out that way. I guarantee it. It looks real cute, but it ain't gonna be that way.
But he has
what recipe?
The recipe is that, again, you get people in Latin America. You see the story, right? You get to it's at the end of the day, it's complete and total corruption. At the end of the day, and this is the same. This is a different spice on that flavor. Trust me when I tell you, this ain't gonna end right. That's my opinion.
Okay, but
that's my opinion.
Has he delivered for the people? That even some, not a lot, even some, than previous administration.
But I mean, John, again, I want to say, because, I got to take this with a grain of salt, given, American history of imperialism. But, if you follow the links in the articles, he said he's using his powers to harass journalists, investigate opposition parties, undermine government oversight. Those are things that are... you need to take into account. You gotta, a lot of fact checking, whatever you have to do. But we know that just giving the people a few crumbs at the beginning doesn't stop somebody from using that to just amass more power until they're like, overlord.
So imagine if Bernie Sanders was president.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's giving us through executive orders, Medicare for all during the pandemic, which a president can do, by the way, during a pandemic. Right. That's legal, and forgiving student loan debt and all these other things. But putting in Jake Tapper in jail. He's put in Chuck Todd in jail, Rachel Maddow in jail. Like, I think there's enough people of the citizenry who's not paying that much attention that they're like, oh, I got free healthcare. Keep it going. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, I mean, look what people say. Look what the Trump followers were saying. Lock them up.
Yeah.
Anybody that just disagrees, lock them up. They were fine with with doing that. They still are. So you got to be careful. Just because somebody's popular doesn't mean they're not, trying to just amass power behind the scenes. Even if they give you a couple things, tell you they're gonna bring a little fake wall or whatever.
Yeah, but again, like, you'd rather take something than nothing than being those people telling you the same thing and not even giving you a little bit of crumb. So
yeah, but you don't want to just give them, give me a little bit something, but in exchange, I give you the whole country.
All right, let's move.
yeah,
on
but there's stuff there that I think I gotta read more a little bit about it. But there's
Yeah,
stuff
I agree.
there
I
that
agree. I agree with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely grain of salt. Definitely grain of salt, man.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right.
Malayan.
Next story. Legislators override governor's veto on HB 11 from the Daily Universe by Gabrielle Shizawa. So state legislators in the House and Senate passed a bill prohibiting transgender youth in Utah from competing in middle and high school girl sports. So, there's a lot of discussion about transgender kids, usually transgender girls in sports because they think they have an unfair advantage, whatever. I don't want to get into that, but I want to just talk about a bill passing, a Republican governor saying, you know what, this is too much, even for me, even in Utah, and then the legislator overriding it. And what he said in his bill is this. He said, there are great kids who face enormous struggles. Here are the numbers that have most impacted my decision: 75,000, 4, 1, 86, and 56. 75,000 high school kids participating in high school sports in Utah. 4 transgender kids playing high school sports in Utah. 1 transgender student playing in girl sports. So, I mean, there's 3 boy sports, and they don't care about those. 86% of trans youth reporting suicidality. I don't even know how to pronounce that word, but having suicidal ideation.
Thoughts. Yeah.
56% of trans youths having attempted suicide. So are bills like this just a solution looking for a problem? Fun?
I don't know, man. This has so many nuances because you have to put yourself in that position, right? You're a father. You have a daughter. She works her butt off, and she's in a sport, and then she becomes in second. And it's a tough situation, but it's very interesting that the legislators will go ahead and go override it like that. Mm-hmm. That's the part that's interesting. But yeah, you're right. I mean, this is there's a lot of nuanced things here that just doing this is not going to go ahead and solve. And I think they got to take a look at it. And I think that's why there's such a conflict between.
But I think the thing is that there's nothing to solve really. This one girl in all of Utah, one trans girl in all of Utah, that is even affecting in this. And they basically wrote a law for one girl.
Well, it's not necessarily, that's who it's affecting now, but there's a lot of kids in sports, and we don't know who's, it could, the number of people that are going to, that might be transgender might change, and then that's going to affect them. So it's not one person. It's one person now, but maybe it's going to be more people later. You know what I mean?
Let me ask this question. Is it that for her to play, period, or is it for her to play in the female sport?
For her to play in girl sports. Right. They don't want her to play in girl sports.
Right.
Or they want her to play them but not compete. They could play in intramurals or whatever, I guess.
Which makes absolutely no sense. But here you can play, but you get no medal or you get no whatever.
I just find it weird that they write. They're using this as a identity politics.
100%
culture.
Right.
To war.
Whatever. Just to get people riled up and vote for them because there's not a problem to be solved here.
I get what you're saying. I mean,
it's 9 o'clock. We got that last article. You think we can knock it out real quick?
All right, last article. Tennessee GOP proposes bill eliminating age requirements for marriage by Katie Wermis and Newsweek. So Tennessee Republicans are moving forward with a bill that will eliminate age requirements for marriage in the state. So let me read this real quick first. The sponsor said, all this bill does is give an alternative form of marriage for those pastors and other individuals who have a conscientious objection to the current pathway to marriage and law, said Representative Tom Leatherwood. Now, I know they, after this thing has been in the news for the past week, they were forced to basically change it and not a requirement now. What is it?
So they added an amendment now to say if the people trying to get married have to be at the majority age. They haven't even called out a specific age limit. They just said majority of age.
A majority of age? Well, what does that mean?
So they didn't even say 18. They just said majority age.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I understand, this originally was that they wanted to go ahead and make sure that marriage was between a male and a female. That's how it is, right?
Yeah.
And then it was a thing where they didn't add the minimum age.
Well, they took out. So this amendment would have taken out a section that had a minimum age requirement originally, and it called out 17 years or older in that original section for something.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think originally it was just trying to make it a man and a woman, and then they went and slipped in the no age requirement thing, and then they had to amend it back. So somebody was thinking, hey man, we gotta allow these pastors or whoever to marry underage girls.
The groomers.
So they don't show that who the person was. Was it like a secret entry or something?
Oh, who put it in? Oh, yeah, the Bills. Well, the Bills sponsor put it in eventually. He was Tom Leatherwood.
Okay, man, how sick you gotta be to like? We can't get the minimum wage raised, but they want to get
no minimum wage. No minimum wage or no minimum age. That's how they roll it.
When I saw this, it made me look into the Georgia law and different states, and luckily they changed this already. But at one point, Georgia had it that. If as long as you marry the underage girl, you're cool.
And on that note,
where are we going? Where are we going?
You could charge you charge somebody for like rape of an underage person, but if you marry them and you promise to take care of the babies or whatever, then cool, you don't go to jail. Luckily they changed that, but that's the conservative thinking over here.
And the thing is, this is the party that's concerned about Pizzagate, where there's like pedophiles, doing stuff to women.
Nobody's going into basements.
They got all of them. Matt Gaetz is still out there.
As we close out the show, thank you everybody for coming through. Much love to everybody in the chat. Appreciate it. And let me go around the horn real quick for any last words. Big Pun.
No, man, no last words. It was interesting again. Thank you for having me. Good stuff.
Good stuff, John. Red Sox. Let's go Red Sox.
Got nothing.
I got nothing.
They lost again today.
One, there's no federal minimum age, and two, we didn't get to talk about it, but Herschel Walker is a dummy. He's just dumb. He's just dumb.
Wait, he's still gonna win, right?
He was a no-show.
Well, he's winning on the polls right now, man. It's ridiculous, but he's dumb and popular.
So wait, he's winning though in the polls?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Over who? Warnock?
Why?
Warnock?
Yeah, in most polls he's ahead of Warnock, but he still has to win the Republican primary. So we'll see when they do straight up head-to-head and don't have anybody else diluting it. But he's winning right now.
He's like a no-show at the debates. How is he winning? I don't get this.
Because nobody heard him be dumb. That's why.
And when you hear him speak, you're not convinced. You hear him speak, you're not convinced that this is
talking about Georgia.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yo, a lot of people haven't heard him speak. That's why they still, some people are going to support him regardless because Trump endorsed him.
Oh, okay.
He's not done with CTR.
Biden didn't pass the $2,000 stimmy, so, and he didn't do what he said he was supposed to do. Bendone.
Refer to me as elite.
Ew.
Refer to you as what?
Elite.
Elite? Oh, Lord. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming through. PJ, Holly, Pookie, Wood, Aaliyah, Mia in the chat, Mario, Sharif, Holly Horn, Cheryl Patrick, Paul Patrick, I believe Destiny Cathedral. We're Pilgrim. Much love to you, my brother, Pookie Wood. Everybody in the chat. Jordan was in the chat there too. Thank you all for coming out. See you all next Monday, 8 p.m. Shout out to the Patreon supporters, Pedro Hernandez, Nancy Bencher, PJ, Chris, Akibasha Kita, Thank you for coming through. Much love to y'all. See y'all next week. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Adios. Much love.
Peace.
Go Hawks.
Yo.